Alright, so according to Deontay Wilder, that $50 million, that offer to Anthony Joshua, upfront cash, is still on the table. If Anthony Joshua is still willing to get into the ring. E-King Fight News, more on this story, guys. Alright, so Deontay Wilder was the honorary pace car driver at some NASCAR event that's going down. I think it went down earlier today, something like that. So apparently he got in front of some media who asked him about Anthony Joshua, and this is what he had to say, guys. Basically, that $50 million offer still on the table, but it's not going to be on there forever, and you can't sit back waiting. So it seems like Showtime. Let's remember correctly. Steven Espinoza said he was willing to mediate in situations where the two teams are torn. Eddie Hearn mentioned the fact that he talked to Showtime a few times, about the Wilder situation. So perhaps Showtime may be of assistance. As we see here, the two teams are torn slightly in terms of what is involved in this $50 million offer. Wilder wants them to agree to that figure before going ahead with any other negotiations. Now, a lot of people look at this and they think Wilder has this elaborate trap for AJ or some dumb shit like that. Like, are you actually, do you have any common sense? Is my question. Because let me give you a recent situation. Let me give you guys a recent situation that happened where fights haven't been done based on certain terms, right? But 9 times out of 10, the first thing that gets offered is the money, right? Look at what happened with Guillermo Rigondeaux. He got offered $400K to go fight Lomachenko. They sent him whatever. They sent him an offer. Perhaps it came with a contract. In shocking fashion, Rigondeaux signed it and sent it back to them. That's my understanding of how that deal went down. Right? In this scenario, it went down via email. Right? They sent a flat offer. The exact same kind of offer Eddie Hearn sent to Wilder was sent back to them. Okay? It's still on the table. In my opinion, if Eddie Hearn is on a plane right now, running back to the UK, what does that say? I mean, whatever. It's a new week. Fucking Sunday. Try and make an appointment for Monday. I mean, that... If they're really ducking you, then they would cancel, or they wouldn't want to make an appointment for Monday, if you ask me. But I don't, I don't know. So many fans are torn on this issue. It's ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous that these kind of quality fighters, their managers cannot get on the same page. There was $1 million at stake here. A $50 million offer that Anthony Joshua asked for has not yet been accepted by Eddie Hearn. Let's take a look at Wilder's quote for a second. Alright, so here we are. Deontay Wilder says Anthony Joshua fight will happen if Joshua and his team are smart enough. So shout out to CTV News. This is out in Alabama. WBC heavyweight champion thinks he'll be the next to get a shot at Anthony Joshua at the Joshua fight for undisputed championship. This is what he had to say. If Joshua and his team are smart enough, they'll take this fight and take it soon. We're not going to be waiting. The offer's on the table. $50 million, and he gets a 50-50 split upward. So he can make even more money than that. That's going to be the highest upfront money that any heavyweight fighter has ever gotten in their career. That's a lot of money to turn down. I know he's not Dave Chappelle, so it's gonna happen. Hilarious, Deontay Wilder. And yeah, Wilder's saying he's ready for Joshua. Actually, that's what Miller said. Miller said he was ready for Joshua. Wilder says it's gonna get made. When the fight happens, there will only be one undisputed. That's pretty much what Wilder had to say, guys. So, not a whole lot new there, except for the fact that according to Wilder, the money's still on the table. You know, that whole 24-hour expiry, y'all take too much shit seriously. Like, it might be out there, but these things can be revised. I mean, Wilder's saying right now it's back on the it's still on the table. I mean, just take it. Take it. That's all you gotta do. Just take the money. It's in the bag. Just take it. Or put it in escrow. You put it in escrow for them and show the evidence if you want. If you really want to stun on them, you could put it in escrow and send them another one of those Shelley Finkel letters saying we have it in escrow at this account. Man, if you really want to stun on them. But I don't know, man. Deontay Wilder throwing out $50 million. Eddie Hearn is shook. I told you guys from the beginning, Eddie Hearn was not expecting this kind of response. I mean, it's just fucking yesterday. Eddie Hearn's out here celebrating that Wilder's not taking our $12.5 million. You see, he doesn't want to fight. It's all PR for Eddie Hearn. And you know what? You know what's even more fucked up? Eddie Hearn wants to call it a PR stunt. Eddie Hearn keeps calling it a PR stunt. You know what happened in the negotiations to Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker? Joseph Parker had a big press conference, and you know, his promoter had these fucking x-rays and shit showing Joshua's chin. And they're talking about Joshua has a weak chin, and Joseph Parker's bound to knock him out because of his weak chin. And they did this whole shit about it. And somehow, that actual PR stunt, that was an actual PR stunt, got Joseph Parker 33% percentage. Now, Eddie Hearn denies it, but according to David Higgins, they got damn near 33% to fight Joseph Parker. Off of what? A press conference. What has Deontay Wilder done? He's knocked out Luis Ortiz and offered Anthony Joshua $50 million in the bank. I mean, what more can you do to make a fight happen? I mean, what like that point? What more can you do to make a fight happen? Eddie Hearn's out here stuttering and shit. I need terms. They haven't sent me the terms. I don't know, man. This dude's really he's really a piece of work. So I don't know how you can, Joshua fans, really buy into what Eddie Hearn's saying, but I mean, the dude's full of lies. Like, he's one of these promoters that's just full of lies. Like, you cannot trust anything he says. Like, you can't trust anything he says, guys. More on this story. Alright, so I meant to bring this point up because in the negotiations to Vasyl Lomachenko versus Jorge Linares, there was a whole fucking drama about whether the fight would get made because Bob Arum wanted to put that on a specific date that aligned with an HBO replay of what was to be Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin. Now that's completely off. But my point in that situation was, it was a fight between Top Rank, Bob Arum's Top Rank Promotions, and Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. They haven't worked with each other in a good amount of time, right? So somehow, some way, they were negotiating and they already agreed on the money. All that shit was done, right? Venue, all this other shit was aside, agreed upon. So you see how things are kind of split up in terms of how things are agreed on. Like, they got the money out of the way. They got, that's really the biggest fucking thing. I mean, and next is like the date and venue, and they couldn't figure out. And there was an issue with the date because Bob Arum had already booked, I think May 12th or something like that. May 12th, he already booked it in Madison Square Garden, something like that, and he didn't want to move away from that date for whatever reason. Like, ESPN gave it to him, he didn't want to fuck that up. So they eventually had to pull the strings on ESPN to get the airtime pushed earlier so it could lead into the HBO broadcast. I say that to say this. You have to get the money out of the way first. Right? You can deal with all that other term bullshit after. Right? But the whole initially, you have to get the money out of the way first. And Eddie Hearn, instead of saying, we'll take that $50 million, he's saying, okay, let me see your terms first. That's clever. Because Eddie Hearn is just saying he's interested in any other terms that come along with it. And I told you guys, there was a rift between Shelly Finkel and Eddie Hearn, their line of communications. They just can't talk to each other. So Shelly Finkel has to copy the media on all his correspondences with Eddie Hearn, because he's just that much of a blatant liar, to be honest. So, there's a lot of strange issues going on here internally with the negotiations of the fight. I mean, it shouldn't be this hard to make, but at the same time, in most scenarios, you have to get the money out of the way first. I mean, Wilder's trying to get the biggest challenging issue over with. I mean, they were arguing about money for damn near 2 months. Wilder, at least 4 months, they've been arguing about money. Like, if you really look at it, it started out as a 50-50 request from Wilder, and Eddie Hearn damn near ignored everybody because Wilder had the balls to say he wanted a 50-50 split. Like, y'all forget this shit, but that's exactly how it happened. So we've literally gone through at least 4 months trying to figure out how these guys are gonna get paid. Like honestly, and it's taking forever, and we finally come to something that Anthony Joshua wanted, and they're giving him exactly what he asked for, and Eddie Hearn is stalling. Once again, he's stalling. So I don't know. If you ask me, something's going on with Eddie Hearn Matchroom, and they have some stupid announcement that's supposed to happen around the second week of May. So in 2 weeks, they're supposed to announce something. It might be an HBO deal. It's hard to say. But I'll just leave it at that. E-King Fight News. Let me know what you guys think. Is Eddie Hearn ducking? You let me know.